Here come that bullshit, what up? 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 Watch him rollin', watch him go. 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 He be rollin' down the street. He be rollin' to the beat. He be rollin' down the street.
Ha! Gay!
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The Golem is a T2 battleship made by the weeaboo race that care more about money than they do with their own people. The Golem is a supercar that doesn't have an engine and instead has 4 cruise missile launchers strapped onto it, so you can drive by slower than the British reaction to Germany invading Poland. The Golem is not for paws and will suck your wallet faster than a cocaine line in a club. The Golem as well as the other Meredudds get access to the Bastion module, or as I like to call it, the holy shit please drop carriers on me in a floating kill mail module, but in return for using it, you will get tank that is complete bullshit, and you also get to shoot further than NASA fucking space rockets. The Golem is slow and fat like an American, but this doesn't matter, since you can face tank any sub-capital damage. Note I said sub-capital damage. I will tell you from personal experience that you cannot fucking tank carriers. And people will drop fucking capitals like they're dropping nukes in 1945, so prepare to get ass blasted to the next fucking system. The Golem is not an ASB ship. If you want to fucking throw your keyboard out the window and still get kills, go fly since it is a better ASB ship. But if you want to spread weaponized memes like America spreads freedom, this is a ship for you. Note that this is a battleship, so you will probably die of old age before you reach your destination. And don't be a fucking twat and fill a MWD, since you don't have the mid slots to spare. If only the Golem had an 8th mid slot. You won't be needing a prop mod anyway, since the only thing you will be doing is fighting for the state and shouting racial caldery slurs to tribal savages for no fucking reason. The one thing that the Golem gets is that it has a cargo hold the size of fucking Russia and enough room to spare for Putin's ego and America's nuclear stockpile. So make sure you're using cap booster 3200s because they're OP as fuck. The one thing that fucking triggers me is that a peasant fit carrier is actually cheaper to lose after insurance than the Golem. No, I'm not making that up. So it is more cost effective to roaming in a fucking carrier than it is to roam in a Golem. Because balance, not only do you need bullshit implants and modules that cost more than the GDP of Europe, you're just straight up less cost effective than an insured carrier. But if you don't have capital skills or feel like tanking a 50-man kitchen sink gang to feel good about yourself, then this ship will do just fine. This is how you fit your overpriced carrier 3-course meal. You fit it like this. You can fit torps if you want to actually ass blast cruisers out of the fucking sky. Now you know about the floating money bags that is the Golem. Get out there and teach tribal savages that caldery is not the enemy.
What? What just happened?
Unmuting all the things. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Clash episode 20.
2-0.
The zestiest of memes episode. No.
That was very zesty.
Thank you.
I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
You might be. I'll fix it.
I don't look frozen. I mean, I look frozen, but you don't look... Yeah. I love that face, Rahne. That's a wonderful face.
I'm cracking up. I'm so excited you guys use that picture of me.
The best.
It's what your press secretary released to us.
Oh, good.
Not shocked at all. So hello, yes, and welcome to episode 20. This is the Mind Clash podcast. We are Mind Clash Live, and yeah, we've got a fun-filled episode today that isn't really going to be as fun-filled as we wanted it to be, but we've got Chocolate Rain, and that's all that matters.
I have secret surprise guests. Don't worry.
Oh boy. So, in any case, Chocolate Rain, you've never been on our show, have you?
No, I mean I've watched the show, but I've never been like a guest or a like person participating in I guess the audio portion of it.
Cool. So, maybe some of our audience doesn't know you, so you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Rain Chocolate. My Eve character is Rain Chocolate. I stream Eve Online. I think you guys have my Twitter and stuff up on there. So I mean, I don't really do anything. I'm not really affiliated with any big alliance or major block. I just stream solo PvP and just meet a lot of people and have a fun time.
Now, was it you or was it Panda that I remember having like the highest kill ratings for a frigate?
That's Panda. So she
That was
got,
Panda.
I think it was sometime earlier in the year, but she was like top Tristan pilot for the month.
Yeah. So what is your ship of choice as a solo pilot?
So I too fly the Tristan. My fit's different than hers, so she has like the classic kiting shield fit, and then the Newt brawl fit, and mine is more rail fit. So it does the brawling with the scram web and afterburner, but it has rail guns, which generally people wouldn't expect because obviously the Tristan's DPS comes from its drones.
Nice. So Meredudd, what you been doing this past week in Eve?
Okay, you ready for a rant?
Oh boy.
Okay, so if you haven't figured it out, if you're in the war zone of the war that has many names, the war with 2 names, the war that was a war but hasn't been a war yet. Have they picked a name yet?
You talking about the Winter War?
Yeah, the Winter War, yeah.
There's another name. While you're talking, I'm gonna look it up because the other name was pretty funny.
I think it's the war yet to be named.
No. I'm gonna find it while you talk.
So, my coalition decided to tactically withdraw to the rear based on AAA. AAA decided to literally close the door behind us as we went out for a nice casual stroll in our super capital fleet. They onlined a Sino jammer while our super fleet was on field, and when we went to return home, could not jump to our staging system, which, as you might expect, made our coordinators a little bit upset. And so we had to rally some dreads, kill the Sino jammer, then bring our fleet back home. And that promptly made the Mittani pull stakes, and we're going home. So we packed up all our stuff and headed back to Delve, which has been a bit of a tough kind of land right now for our miners who have been making news lately with how many M3 and how much industry they're actually producing in Delve. But since the cats were out, the mice were out trying to steal a little bit of cheese, and roaming gangs, wormholers were really abusing our Rorquals without capital and super capital support just to sign it away. So
yeah,
we're now back home, and I've lost the endless stream of PvP content, which was the catch deployment.
So what you're saying is Goons lost?
I think I saw the numbers, the correlated numbers from total losses, and Goons had a lot of losses. I think we were up at 800 billion or something, but if you put
I
it
saw
in the
much
coalition,
higher numbers than that.
Oh, anyways, it was a lot of money, but like compared to our enemies, it was whatever.
So maybe like metaphorically lost.
It's not losing if you're having fun, right?
I just want to hear the goons say they lost. But anyways, Cosmo, the guy who does the what you missed in the Eve this week, he called it the ScoodyDooty War. I posted that in the chat.
Oh, that sounds about right.
ScoodyDooty. I don't know what that is, but it sounds hilarious.
Sounds something your dog would do.
It is exactly something my dog would do. Is ScoodyDooty. That's when they drag their ass along the the carpet, right? Scooty.
Oh man.
Visual. Anywho, so yeah, as far as what I've been doing, I've been doing a lot of ratting, a lot of salvaging. Apparently, nobody in my corporation likes to actually salvage after themselves when they're doing like forlorn hubs and dens and stuff like that. So I said, we'll just save it, save the bookmark, and I'll go to it and salvage. Why not? Picked up close to 50 mil just from salvaging for a couple hours, which I mean is not incredible, but you know, that's what I've been doing: salvaging, ratting, mining, making things.
Making that dankisk.
Yeah, I was actually while we were doing the talking, no, not talking, the open comms after show on Friday, people in the alliance comms are talking about evacing, and I was like, what? I can't evac. I'm too drunk to evac. And they're like, no, this is just in case you want to for later in preparation. So I was like, Jesus Christ, don't scare me like that.
Yeah, thanks, Rahne, for letting us come on the show there on Friday. It got a little bit crazy at the end there.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. And the more people you have, because like you guys are very calm, you don't really talk over each other. With open comms, it's just kind of everyone just talks when they want to talk. And if you need some, like if you have something to say, you have to interrupt to kind of get your word in.
Yeah,
So it gets crazy.
It's been like that for forever. That's the way it is. Especially when Dirk's a drinking.
Yeah, and then the more people you have, like on comms, but they're not on camera, it's a lot harder to tell when someone wants to talk. So then it gets super hectic.
Yeah, but it was a good time. Good times were had by all.
Rahne, I don't know if you know, but I got my start on that show actually.
Really?
That was the first place I ever went on a podcast. Yeah.
Nice, not bad.
I was even in Dirk's Corp for a while, and before he left the Imperium.
Yeah, like Dirk's a classic trader. Left the Imperium to join PL.
I think he just goes with where his friends go. He just doesn't want to be left away from his friends, and I can't blame him. I mean, I think I would do the same thing. Just go where all my real friends are going.
What about the friends he left behind? Hey, Kael?
Hey, some people are more important than others. It's just the way it is.
I see how it is.
I mean, hey, we're not in the same alliance or even the same level of playscape, but we're still friends.
I'm locator agenting you right now.
You won't find me. So yeah, there's quite a bit of interesting news to talk about if you guys want to talk about news stuff. So I was listening to somebody rant on one of my comms, and they were talking about goblins. Has anybody heard how goblins and how, I don't know, there's some industrialist espionage, or not espionage, industrialist extortion going on in the perimeter region?
I think it's friendly competition through industrialist favorite activity, which is PvP.
Right. I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about that, but essentially, what I understood is that PanFam, or more specifically Horde, is trying to take over the area perimeter as far as industrial operations goes. Is that kind of what I understand?
Yeah, they're enacting a siege on all of the one jump out of Jita citadels. They killed the first Sayoto that was fully armed and operational in perimeter.
Yep. I seen that.
Yeah, they've been they're trying to knock down all the citadels in an attempt to control the Plex offshoring market.
Okay, that whole tax evasion offshore type of thing.
Yeah, so if they can control where the market is, which according to Talking in Stations is going to be very challenging because of the mechanics behind how offshoring works and how you can buy and range sell order very easily. You rarely have to actually move the product from where you bought it, which was Jita, and where you're going to sell it, which is, if you're going to sell it, from your citadel. you can control the broker's fees and the tax fees and undercut Jita, which is an NPC station, and make money off that transaction through owning the Citadel. But currently, there are lots of Citadels out there, and there's a lot of competition, and people immediately race to the bottom as far as broker fees. So there's a lot of cheap ones out there.
I see. So, yeah, so that Scioto, is that like the biggest engineering complex there is? Is that what I understand? That's the big boy, right?
It is. It's the one that if you were in Nullsec, you'd be able to build supers in, but it still has the best defense of the engineering complex and probably the best power grid, etc., etc.
Cool. I want one of those. Sounds like fun.
We are joined by secret guest.
Secret guest, number one fan, Buessing.
Evening.
Hello, number one fan.
I'm not going to tell you the instructions. You've watched the show enough times to figure out the instructions.
You know what to do.
Hello.
My name is Buessing. My in-name game is Magnus Kael. Been playing since 2008. My main is a member of TSOC, who is in the Alliance Army of New Eden.
Welcome. And for those of you who don't know, Buessing is our number one fan, and that is a fact. It cannot be disputed.
Undisputable. What have you been doing this week, Buessing?
I don't care. Buessing, Magnus, it's fine either way. Taco is my nickname at the firehouse. Really just recovering from bronchitis for the first time in my life. It's horrible.
Ugh, it sucks.
But got to play some game stuff. I missed the big fleet when we went to Stainwagon's home on Sunday when I was at work. That was a bummer.
Bummer indeed.
Trying the old headshot technique?
From what I was told, it went well, though.
I don't think you can headshot an NPC system, can you?
So, anywho, what we were talking about was newsy type stuff. I was about to flow into some rants of my, I don't want to say rants of my own because they're not my own, but rants that I've seen and heard and read and want to discuss with everyone here. Reddit has been very active in hating and CC pleasing. They're asking a lot of questions and wanting to get some answers about a lot of things, like why there's all these bugs and how can we fix things. Apparently, there was an update earlier this week or last week, 119.1, and they had to roll it back because it crashed the shit out of the server, among other things.
For sure.
I was gonna say, I know, like lately, past couple of weeks, I don't know if it was from this update or from something else, but the server itself has been super laggy.
No.
Like rubber banding. Earlier today, I was locking somebody and it just sat there and ticked over and over. Like it showed the locking. Like I should have had them locked, but I didn't. And it lasts only for like 3 to 5 seconds, but it's long enough to where it can cause a difference of like either getting caught or being in a fight or something like that. And it's super annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it's very noticeable. And Ishmael Vegeta on Reddit had a list of things that needs to get fixed, such as loading any new window. Menu in general takes like at least 1 second. I mean, 1 second, can we deal with that? Maybe not. Switching items in the market window takes around 5 seconds. Sometimes it takes 15 seconds to complete a buy sell. Where I have been noticing stuff like that. Like I'll buy something and then I'll wait, and then oh, there it goes. The effing drone bug where the drones show returning or whatever has been in the game since around time Citadel came out. It's annoying as shit. Opening a core hanger of like 50 items took 10 seconds. This is all time stuff, but there's a lot of things like that. Bug fixes, something about somebody got contracted something, he accepted it, and all of a sudden he was in a new station, a whole new place, and he didn't know how he got there. And
What?
yeah, he accepted the contract. He was in another region. 40 minutes later, got a lost mail and woke up at a clone station as if nothing had happened.
It was a bad hangover.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so I mean, there's if you go through Reddit on some of these threads, there's a lot of stuff like that where people are going like, all right, CCP, can you just stop like trying to do all these fancy updates and maybe focus on all the bullshit that we keep dealing with every day?
I mean, that was the core of the Jita riots, right? And they were focusing on other issues and not
Yeah,
solving the little things.
talking about burn Jita or something different.
Well, Burn Jita was a ganking effort. No, this is the riots surrounding Karna.
Yes.
That was an interesting time in Eve for sure.
Yeah, all that and Karna and Tyrannus and shit updates that took us to places we didn't want to go. Sure, anywho, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that going on, and let's see. One of the cool things about that recent update, I don't know if anybody else has found it annoying over the past, let's see, since I think it was put in the Ascension update, the thing where you like click on a cargo container and you click on open it, and like, yeah, okay, you were like 8 kilometers away or whatever, and it would say, oh, you are too far from the object to whatever, like every time.
With the voice command, right?
The voice prompt said, "You are too far away to access this command," or something like that. So that's gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say most people I don't think would know about that too. I mean, a lot of people don't play Eve with sound.
Well, here's how I first started noticing it. Like, yeah, I did hear it, but I guess it didn't really register to me that it was something I needed to pay attention to. But when I was talking in a help channel one day, somebody kept saying, "Why does it keep saying this over and over when I'm trying to move to something?" And he said it specifically because he was a blind person and using a screen reader, and the screen reader kept saying it over and over to him specifically.
Be super annoying.
Yeah, so, but apparently that's not a thing anymore. Now, if you click on something and you start moving towards it, it's not going to tell you that you're not in range because, like, no shit, like you don't know you're not in range.
Yeah, and I know sometimes it pops up. I know for like when I'm looting cargo, it'll say it anyway. Like it shows on the screen. Like I don't need to have it like said to me or whatever.
I've been in way too many big fights where the turning off the sound actually provides a sizable difference in my performance.
Are you saying Eve has sound?
I mean, it did once, and then my computer slowly turned into shit.
I have always listened to I've always listened to the sound in Eve. Like I'll have that turned up so I can know if I'm, getting damage or whatever, so I can actually hear commands. But as far as music, I'm usually listening to something else. What do you guys listen to when you're playing?
I'm usually on comms or just music.
Almost always on comms. Sometimes there'll be TV if I'm ratting or something.
The old Netflix, the Netflix in mine.
Mine varies, but if I'm solo, like not in a large fleet, I have the Eve sound on. I enjoy the music.
Let's see. What else do I have as far as news? Apparently there was BPOs, Tech 2 BPOs that were dropping from Citadel Rex, and that should not have been dropping BPOs. It should have been dropping BPCs. So CCP doesn't know how long those have been dropping, who might have collected them, and how many are out there. So the loot fairy was kind to someone.
We have another surprise guest.
Spy.
Hello, everybody.
It's a spy.
Tridgit, you have to introduce yourself with your name. Come on.
Hey, I'm Tridgit, the executor of Iron Armada.
Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
How many BPOs did you steal this week?
All of them. So I noticed this thing that you put in there, Meredudd, about Utopia 24, aka Silicon Buddha. Do we want to talk about that? Oh, you want to share the link, and then I'll decide if we should talk about it.
I can share links. Very hard. to share links.
I cannot link. I am professional.
Link to screen 3 error. Reddit found out about former guest of the show, Silicon Buddha, his out-of-game initiative to start a corporation slash out-of-game community for people who are looking for a drama-free kind of place to play.
What I'm curious is how did it get onto Reddit?
Wow, someone clearly was trying to be recruited by the dude and was like, "LOL, this guy's trying to charge me money."
But it's kind of convenient. It's kind of convenient that it happened just, not too much longer after we were talking about it on comm. So it was just me, him, Meredudd, Dirk, who else? There's a few other people there.
Eve Onion.
Eve Onion news. Sounds like an Eve Onion exclusive. But it's a very interesting topic. So Utopia 24 / Silicon Buddha essentially is trying to make, like you said, like a drama-free zone, but he's specifically targeting the Mittani and the goons in general because he doesn't like the way that they play the game, and he thinks they should be fixed and they should learn the errors of their ways.
Does he like have a fucking mission statement? That seems pretty broad.
It does seem pretty broad. He's kind of got that the Buddhist mindset, and we should all treat each other's as with respect and courtesy and stuff like that. But I thought he was kind of role playing at first, but I think he's so far into the role play that he doesn't even know he's role playing.
So wait, why do you target Mittani and goons? Because they're, I want to say, like almost every alliance in Eve, sometimes they have their own hazing techniques, or they're kind of rude to certain groups or whatever.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think he just thinks Mittani is the scum of the universe, which, I mean, I'm not a goon, but I could care less who he is in game or out of game. It's just a game.
I got the feeling he was looking to be the foil to the biggest villain, perceivably in his mind, in the game, which is the Mittani in his eyes. So if he can be a rallying point to go to him, then perhaps he could draw in more subscribers.
I think it's an excellent roleplay initiative, and I think it's very fun and very exciting, and I think it's something that would be a very playful take on what we do as far as like role playing, or who's the enemy of the week and who's the big bad wolf and whatnot. But I don't know. I think the fact that he was like legitimately like saying the Mittani needs to be taken down, and I was like, oh, are you sure you're just not role playing? He's like, no, this is not a role play. This is how I feel.
Yeah, he was quite passionate about his project, and
very passionate.
I've spoken to him twice about this, and he was passionate and serious about it. I mean, you could either take this as an opportunity to join him because he's serious about his project, or an opportunity to troll him about it. But
I feel like he's setting himself up for failure.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we all know you can't take down the goons, right?
Well, not in that manner. Like, not in specifically that manner, because that was one of the key pieces for goons being so successful. Is they win a fight and they're like, haha, I wasn't even trying. They lose a fight is, haha, we're bad and we know it, right?
Yeah.
So if he's like, setting himself up to be this person who's going to take down the evil Mittani, well, you're going to get fucking used.
I find it weird that he wants, like you guys said, like an out-of-game community, but his purpose for his out-of-game community is to focus another group, either whether it be in-game and out-of-game. Because, like, I mean, all these communities kind of exist on their own and for their own reasons, not, oh, we exist because we're trying to take down somebody else. Like, if you look at, say, World War B and the Money Badger Coalition, like, they stopped existing once people, they stopped getting paid and they stopped fighting a common enemy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some more. Maybe you know what? Maybe we'll have him back on because we've had him on before. So maybe we'll bring him back on, and once his project is kind of fleshed out, see if he wants to share.
He did have some interesting points about like kind of loosely talking around whether or not we have like a good enemy in this game, and if we can actually rally to a cause that provides content for everyone through like a unified, we hate this guy, let's take him down, and he wants to be like a spearhead for that kind of campaign.
Well, there's always going to be an enemy of the week. It's either going to be, it's going to be goons, or everyone's going to be against Pandemic Legion, or everyone's going to be against Test or Brave, and then rinse and repeat, a couple weeks later for a different alliance, corporation, coalition. It's the way it's always been. But I think, what we did mention, we were talking about Bob, and how that's kind of how the goons started in response to Bob, was that they didn't feel that Band of Brothers was right for the game, and they felt that goons had a better idea of how to play, and they pushed Bob out. And I think we kind of related that what he was doing in the same token.
And then some people argued that goons became Bob, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty much it's just coming full circle. So goons pushed out Bob, and now goons is Bob, and now I might be Bob, and you're Bob. Who knows who's Bob nowadays?
My middle name's Bob.
We're all just a bunch of Bobs.
What's interesting this week is we already discussed it, but remember when goons went to HiSec and allied with Red versus Blue to take all the HiSec Pocos when Pocos came out?
Yes.
I remember when goons owned like the North, like Tribute, Pureblind, Fade, Declan, and kind of controlled it with an iron fist, and then like imposed their might on smaller groups in like Cloud Ring and Syndicate.
Yeah.
And remember when they like their joining a battlefield from across the universe was like influential on whether or not sides just pulled up and left.
Uh-huh.
What I'm trying to say here is PL is goons.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. The Pan fam is gigantic right now. They're trying to take it all.
I mean, we've seen those 3 actions from PL in the last month, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly goes back around what I said, is that you're always going to see that cycle happening over and over again, just from a different group. So, it was Bob, then it was Goons, now I guess it's PL and the Pan fam, and who's all part of the Pan fam? It's PL, Horde,
Waffles.
Okay,
and pancakes.
Waffles, pancakes.
And NC Dot. You can kind of consider NC Dot with PL because NC Dot will never fight against PL, but
for now.
Yeah. And then Mercenary Coalition usually will never work against PL.
But isn't Mercenary Coalition, are they working with PL right now?
I'm not quite sure.
No, I thought they were helping with the Circle of Test.
Yeah, I think they're hired down there right now, but usually they will never fight against PL or NCDOT as far as I know.
Yeah, not with PL is not the same as against PL.
Right, yeah, well, yeah. We see that all the time.
Well, they hold Sovereign Tribute, right? Tribute's held by PL.
Hey, this is just a tribute.
I mean, we have no one from this coalition to support or back up these ridiculous claims I'm making, but
yeah, we cannot confirm nor deny these allegations at this time.
I'm pretty much trying to say PL's worse than Hitler. Is that too much to say?
Jesus.
You are a goon.
A little harsh.
You heard it right there. The puppet of Matani right there. Hello,
sorry, that's a helicopter going by, I swear.
Was anyone in the 3-6 and TAC HZ thing? The big battle between the goons and
the
Circle of Test?
The accidentally Titan number 1 and 2 in the same affair?
That one.
No, hilariously, I live 8 jumps from where that happened, and I'm allied with CO2 and Test, and nobody told us that was going down until they had extracted.
Yeah, see, like I was reading the battle report of that, and that kind of seemed like a shit show how everything was going down. I mean, you had one Titan pilot who I guess who had played before. He got out. He was out for a while and came back with the whole like resurgence and the ascension and veterans coming back, and so he wasn't used to some of the newer mechanics as far as how to control the Titan or what some of the gameplay mechanics were, and he almost got caught in a drag bubble, right? And then he got tackled, and then there was calls went out on both sides, and dreadnoughts came in, and faxes, and another Titan came in, and I guess one Titan on each side was lost, dozens of dreadnoughts, dozens of faxes, and yeah, it sounded like fun.
Yeah, it was two Titan pilots making a mistake and everybody being active, active very quickly.
I mean, I saw an image of how far Jump 2, Bridge 2 are nowadays.
Is it really close?
No. They used to. Okay, so Jump 2 and Bridge 2 used to be fucking beside each other with no divider.
That's
then,
brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant, right? And then, CCP finally listened to the pleas of Titan pilots, I suppose, and moved them further apart. And like any Titan pilot, like I don't get people who bridge without, or people who jump without bridging. Like it's so easy to fucking throw an anchor down and just not go, even if you press the wrong fucking button. Like, you ever seen those videos of I know that PL, they call it the dance or whatever, where you hover over Jump 2 and then you go up and then Jump 2, go up, Jump 2, and then like you wait for the sounder to appear. As a Titan pilot, why would you not be doing that over bridge?
Yeah.
Right?
I wouldn't know. I don't know. I've taken a bridge once or twice, but I'm not a expert.
I just got a Blops for my Secret Santa. Maybe I can make that mistake in the future.
Yay, let's do it.
On a happy note, Equipmate was on the top damage for that Titan kill.
Nice.
Very nice.
Let's see. So, there's some things we were going to talk about as far as the spotlight of the week, and that kind of fell through just a little bit. Not quite, but we still have things that we want to talk about. We're going to talk about podcasting and podcasters and streamers and content creators. So this is the one about the podcasters.
That would be out of game content creators.
Yes, not the in-game content / immersion, but the actual content for the community.
Think if you please, we have a video content creator, we have a INN writer, we have an Eve News 24 editor, and we have a professional podcast creditor.
Extraordinaire.
Very professional. Who's the EN24 editor?
I am the editor of Eve News 24, and I also make YouTube videos.
Nice.
He does make good YouTube videos as well.
Let's see, and then we have Rahne, and she is like she said before, solo PvPer / streamer on the Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, Buessing, what do you do? Or Magnus?
I'm an avid fan. That's all I got.
Super fan.
I'm sure Buessing has watched more podcasts or videos than all of us combined.
Champ. Okay, so so I guess I'll kind of lead it since I kind of know what I want to talk about, and so essentially, questions. Like, why do we do podcasting? Why is it that we're involved with the community? How do we get involved with the community, and what our goal is? So essentially, for me, I got involved in podcasts after I listened to a few episodes of High Drag. And then I started just searching for other episodes of other things, and I found the Podside podcast, and I was sitting there in the chat, in-game chat one morning, and it was morning for me, but because I was in Germany, so Manny Bothans tweeted or messaged out like, hey, we need one more person to jump on the show. Who wants to get on? I just happened to be like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And from there I got hooked, so I've been podcasting now directly or indirectly in some way for, I think 2.5, maybe 3 years now. So I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about Eve, and it makes me feel more involved with the community, and like I don't know, like I'm part of something big, I guess.
I
If
can
that
agree
make-
with that sentiment. I really can, because Matterall from, I guess it's the Imperial News Network now, used to be with News 24, and he started doing podcasts, and he was actually the one who brought me in to do the first podcast that I did. And it was the same thing. It was like, hey, we're talking about this thing. I need a couple more people. Do you want to come in? I was like, fuck yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of fell into it, and then I just continued to weasel my way into the show. Like every week, I'd show up on either the Tuesday or Thursday or even sometimes Saturday episode of the Podside podcast, and I think just about when it was starting to grind down to where they took their break, is when I decided like, hey, you know what? I think this is something I want to do. And I started doing a little bit of streaming, but streaming wasn't really my thing because I couldn't really, I don't know, I couldn't find myself setting a solid time and content. I'm not a PvPer, so I couldn't really do that. But I just tweeted out there like, hey, I want to start a podcast. Who wants to join? And sure enough, I got Meredudd. So I got the short end of the stick.
I'm not that short.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, I had a pretty much similar way I got on podcasts. I kind of shared that story when I joined through Open Comms. And what motivated me to go on that show, despite the challenges of being a guest on Open Comms, was I could not stand yelling at my radio in my car as I commuted or
Yes.
drove to work anymore. I could not tolerate it anymore. I had to come on and tell BC that he sucked and
Oh
that
my
his
God.
opinions were wrong.
At least I'm not the only one who would yell at BC through the radio. Like, are you fucking kidding me, BC? Do you even play this game?
It makes you feel better. We've yelled at him on the show when he's saying things.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it was the only way to rein him in, and it didn't rein him in at all.
Sometimes so he would always have these wild, crazy ideas. And while I admit sometimes they were absolutely atrocious ideas, he was at least always thinking about the game. And I think that's what
Yeah.
a lot of podcasters and content creators do, is they love the game so much and they love talking about it. But sometimes it's boring, or there's not a lot going on. So this past couple of weeks, we've had some news, but not a lot of news. Like the Winter War, whatever you want to call it's been keeping people busy. But when you don't,
ScoodyDooty.
the ScoodyDooty War, when there's not content like that to really talk about, it's fun to talk about other things and to just kind of theory craft or bring people on and ask them, what do they do in the game and this or that.
Random could not hold in the wings. He could not hold himself back. He's joined us here.
Yay, Random McNally, everyone. Who looks like he's muted.
Oh boy. He'll figure his shit out.
Which is perfect, yeah. Let's see. So, Rain, how did you get involved in doing all this funny business?
So I streamed about 6 months before I started streaming Eve. And I really streamed Eve just to, I think that was right after the Entosis update, so Salve Warfare update. And I had really no idea like what to stream or how to do it. So I just kind of slapped on my webcam, showed people, and I got a lot of people watching, a lot of fun fights from that. I think we killed like a bill, like a Macarial jumped like 3 jumps and it was worth a bill. And so we killed it because it wanted to kill my catalyst or whatever. So we ended up ganking it and killing it, and it was totally worth it. But I realized, like, when you stream, people can teach you things because they watch and always tell you what you're doing wrong. But it's also really easy to get content because when you do it so much, you kind of build a reputation for yourself, or people will know what you're doing or what you're flying. So they'll either try and bring a reasonable fight to you, or they'll bring something absolutely hilarious to fight you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of strange and interesting at the same time. The fact that you see that a lot, where brand new players will start streaming from character creation on, and they just get tons of people, like veteran players, in their stream, giving them help and hints. And as strange as that sounds, that is like the one of the best ways to learn how to play the game, strangely enough.
Yeah, and it's super helpful because when you have friends on comms or people doing this or that, like that's always nice, but they can't see what you're doing. So when you stream it, everyone.
Especially, yeah, so when you can, because sometimes when people are asking me questions in help or in my even hour channel, like I don't know what they're talking about, and if I could see it, it's it's better to actually visualize it.
Yeah,
Hello,
for sure.
hello, Random. Random is not muted anymore.
You getting it to work?
Ladies and gentlemen, Random McNally. Rip.
The ghost of Random McNally.
Yeah. So let's see.
Soon, TM.
Tridgit. Tridgit, how'd you get involved in writing?
How did I get involved with writing?
You're a writer and editor, or you just what do you do mostly?
I do editing now because I'm busy enough, both with work and with running my alliance. It's writing takes a lot of time because you got to go through, writing whatever topic you're writing about. You put your outline in, you write it up, and then an editor comes through and tells you you're trash, so you write it up again, you fix this and that, fix the other thing, and getting a hold of FCs for battle reports is just a nightmare. And trying to be factual and unbiased, especially if you're involved in the fight and that kind of stuff, is time consuming. So once I was with Eve News 24 for a while, there was a slot open on the editor side, so I just hopped in there, and ever since that, I basically only do editing stuff now. So when people, I do like fact checking just to make sure someone doesn't put their foot in their mouth and like so and so jumped the super into the wormhole, like shit like that, right? And there's actually a pretty good and solid team of editors currently at Eve News 24. There's a lot of dudes who specialize in like grammar and stuff like that, and then there's dudes who specialize in like content of making sure that people are saying things correctly, saying things the right way, etc.
Right.
That would be more the side I focus on.
Yeah, I could definitely not do that. I do a little bit of writing. I put out a few articles here and there on Imperium, but they're all editorial opinion pieces. Facts. Who needs facts when I can just state my opinion, right?
Right. Well, honestly, like as a writer, that was my biggest complaint, because even if I'm directly associated in the fight or not, I would love to go to a kill board, see a battle report, see the timeline of it, of like, oh, this Logi ship died, and then they killed a bunch of line ships, and then this Logi ship died, and then like all of their Logi wing died, and then all of these line ships died. How come they didn't extract? I want to talk to the FC of those dudes. I want to talk to the FC of these dudes, and like delving into the details of that is actually really interesting. The problem, though, is that you start a conversation with an FC, if they even accept it instead of reject it immediately. It's like, hey, I'm from Eve News 24. I want to, hey, fuck off and die, close convo. It's like, what?
No comment.
Oh man, this is the worst. I actually had that. I'm not going to name the FC who said this. Actually, I'm not even going to quote what he said because it's just way too rude. But I was in the dude's alliance, and I pinged him on the IRC within the alliance. I was like, hey, I'm going to write an article about this. This is dope. What are we going to do? And he effectively told me to go kill myself. I was like, are you kidding me? And people wonder why facts are wrong on battle reports all the time, right?
Yeah, I was sitting there. I don't read a whole lot of battle reports, but I just happened to read the one about the that one I was talking about earlier, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, geez, how did, like, either someone's just like literally sitting there with some popcorn and a pen and a piece of paper and just writing down everything that's happening. Like, how do you know this huge story, like 2,000 words of information based on a battle? It's crazy.
You're talking about the 36N fight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sullivan, I will give Sullivan Hardin a shout out to this. For anybody who's worked with him or talked to him, he's one of those people where you either get along with him or you don't get along with him. And him and I, we butted heads forever. But anyways, we have a good working relationship because at the end of the day, no matter how we go about it, we're both trying to do the same thing. But shout out to this guy for doing his due diligence on research, and he collects the facts Like, he spends so many hours every day doing it. It's truly worth calling out. He is the only reason Eve News 24 is still plugging away, is because of Solid.
Nice. Yeah. So speaking of you're talking earlier about having the editors come back and say your work is shit and this and that. I actually was submitting my work. I would try to eventually through Crossing Zebras, and they wanted me to make so many changes to my article that I felt was good. So then I submitted over to Caleb at Imperium News, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll take it." And just next day he put the article up. I was like, "All right." I mean, I'm not saying that the Imperium News Network doesn't edit their stuff, but they gave me a little creative freedom, I guess.
Yeah, there is definitely a slight, how would we say that, flavor between the 3, 4, 5 different outlets.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I visit all the sites and I read as much as I can, but every one of them has a different, like you said, different flavor, different agenda. Maybe, obviously, Imperium News has a lot more not Eve stuff.
Speaking of agenda, that's actually one of the things that is my primary role, is like to make sure that when people, especially, we get a lot of new people who submit articles to us, and it's just like the way that it's written, you can clearly tell that the person's agenda is to shit on one group and prop another group up. You know what I mean? So that's like a lot of word changes, like word use changes goes through, and because that's what a news network does not want to present themselves as, is obviously a biased, outlet of whatever source. So as long as you keep your neutrality, and crossing zebras is pretty good at that. Like, they let some of their guys run pretty rampant with the opinion pieces, which is, that's their flavor. That's what they do, right?
Yeah, if anybody's who's read any of my articles that I have put out, I definitely have an agenda, and that group is CCP for sure. I am anti-CCP.
Do you what I am anti-CCP about? I fucking really like the direction that they're going these days, because I've been playing long enough that I remember the non-Seagull days. But anyways, the inability to create videos, like, so if that is like my primary Eve or primary content outside of game creation always revolves around videos and stuff. Like, I did streaming when I played APB, and I don't stream Eve because IFC and delay and all that shit anyways. But then, like, Eve News Network, I did that kind of stuff because that's just another way to go and kind of push it. But I would love the ability to do videos much better, because right now we're very, very constrained with what we can do in videos. You either film in game and you have your UI up, or you intentionally don't participate in something to film it in the cinematic mode, if you will, or you do a mix of both if you're really good at things, or you have to go into CC or something after the fact and try to film a shot that you would like to get or something like that. I would just love the ability to be able to set up on the CCP tools themselves to do some filming, because I feel that a developer that allows the gamer community to do that for their game effectively gets free marketing. Like, whatever they put into developing that tool is the cost of their marketing.
Do you know how much propaganda would be put out if we actually had a tool that could do that? It'd be propaganda heaven.
Absolutely would be. And I would love it. I would love every minute of it.
But you're right. It would be great advertising and marketing for the game in general.
Test would break the internet. That's all I gotta say.
Test would break everything. If there's a local in life, they would break it.
Like the test, like little dinosaur, and there's that one dude on Reddit who keeps like drawing like the dinosaur and into things that make sense, and like everything that he puts into the image has meaning and is a reference to something. Fuck, that guy's amazing.
He's probably the same guy that you're sitting there in class in high school and you look over and he's just drawing penises on everything. He's that guy. I mean, I was that guy.
Rahne, when you're in your CSM run that you haven't announced yet, you're going to advocate for CCP to add streamer-specific tools, right?
They'd be helpful for streamers, but I don't think I'd advocate for something specifically for streamers. I know there are a couple content creators and YouTubers that are upset about the new camera changes because they aren't as beneficial to capturing scenes. Like they would like you said, they would go on CC, film things, then put it in a commercial or a video or whatever. So I know they want those to be changed, and CCP hasn't really responded to that. But I mean, the one things I do notice is for like some sort of OPSEC either within Eve, which could help cinematographic wise or whatever, or something along the lines of being able to block things like trades or item deliveries, because you can't really block those even if you block a person. And so you really notice it when somebody is getting stream sniped or there's a streamer with hundreds of viewers.
Yeah,
But,
I think they could afford to deal with a little bit of streamer mode to it. I mean, not so much to protect the player from getting sniped, because I mean, hey, if you're streaming out there and your system name isn't automatically, or if you haven't covered your system name, I don't think Eve should put in a tool, or CCP should put in a tool for that. But definitely, you don't want some private information popping up.
yeah, and just having a way for people not to get bombarded by things.
Yeah. So, are you officially putting your name on the ballot?
No, I'm not running for CSM.
Maybe next year.
No, I mean, I am pretty good communications with CCP. They already know all of my suggestions to them for streaming. And a lot of the CSM members now and then in prior years have actually come to streamers and said, hey, CCPs, they want to support the streaming community. They want to support content creators. What could they do to help? And so we've always had our input, but that's not going to, that's not a good platform to run on. It's just, hey, I'm a streamer, vote for me so I can help other streamers or whatever.
I'm pretty sure that's how what's his name, Wingspan dude won his campaign last year.
Wingspan is pretty charismatic and he has a job in the advertising industry, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an all-around good dude, and I think he's been in really good communications between CCB and the players, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think so. So CSM, man, I wish I could give that a go, but I think as far as real life commitments, I don't think I could deal with being in the Army, active duty full time, and being a CSM. I can hardly keep up with this show. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, you can't really run for something like that without having a significant portion of time you're willing to commit to it.
Yeah. As much as I want to, and as much as I feel like I have a good idea of how I could help or how I could be an advocate, I do not have that kind of time or energy. God, I got 4 kids, man. I don't have energy for that. Little vampires, energy vampires.
Well, I wanted to speak a little bit while we were on the topic towards starting your own podcast, because
Oh yes.
last year at Eve Vegas, I had a great time. I hung out with all the Open Comms people, and I came out of there. I was like, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm tired of BC. I'm going to start my own podcast. And I was super hyped, and I spent 2 months making excuses. Christmas came. I got my mic. I was like, yes, I'm going to start a podcast. 4 more months went by. Nope.
It was some procrastination, because I did the same thing when I talked about doing this, and I think we did the first episode, and then a few weeks went by, and we're like, I'm kind of busy, and and then we did the second one a few weeks later, and then we started getting the swing of it. I think it was just a little bit of procrastination on my part, for sure.
Well, it's intimidating when you start, because
It is, because I was thinking who's gonna listen to this, and I threw some ideas out there on Twitter, and Dirk was actually very, very helpful and adamant in trying to convince me to go ahead and do it, because I was thinking, who's gonna listen to my stuff? And he was like, man, who cares if someone listens or not? Just if you have something you want to talk about it.
Yeah, and once you get a feel for the tools, which I use OBS Studio to bring you the show, I even used plain OBS for a while, but OBS Studio is better. A little bit more buttons, but once you figure it out, it's okay. My computer isn't great. Still runs the stream just fine. And even when we were streaming game content with the video, it still worked fine. And the tools are fairly simple to use, and you can run a show of any length of time. And I don't think by any stretch of the means that the EVE community has all of the niches available for audio content.
Not at all. And whether you're doing video, if you're streaming it live on Twitch, or if you're just, setting up a time between a few friends, like, hey, let's get together on Saturday and we'll record this real quick, and then you put it out a few weeks later. I mean, that's kind of what Clueless Space Nerds do. It's just they all get together at one house, record it, and then put it out. I mean, some people will record it over days, or do it in pieces where somebody will send or give questions to one person, they'll answer it, and then they'll like kind of dub in the questions and answers later.
And I mean, like breweries in freaking my town, all of the other podcasts are out there to support and help other podcasts. There's no competition between us. I mean, we're all out there to get more people interested in the EVE podcasting community, as there are probably 500,000 players of this game and probably 30,000 people who actively peruse the podcast community.
You are putting a way higher number up there than I certainly would.
Well, maybe it's less, but like, I think people who swing in and out and download a couple episodes or check a couple out on YouTube or whatever.
Oh yeah, if I had the name, my wife told me earlier today that one of her friend's husband used to be an EVE player, and he was thinking about coming back, and she threw him the link to the show, and I guess him and his buddies downloaded a shit ton of episodes yesterday and today. So, yay, thanks guys.
Yeah, and I mean, like, don't be afraid to take that step. If you want to become a streamer, whether it's live or on Twitch as a game player or as a talking head like we are, if you'd like to start recording videos and just throw them out there, like the video we showed at the beginning of the show, Railroad, those videos are super fun, super amusing. Or if you just want to be a writer, whether it's a really complicated, deep, in-depth, well-researched piece, or just what you had to think about, I don't know, the balance of assault frigates,
I mean, we got a guy who does regular videos about market analysis of the EVE marketplace. So I mean, there's something for everybody. Somebody's gonna listen to what you got to say, no matter what it is.
And if you're one of those people that feels like you could be or want to be a writer for anything to do with EVE, you've got a story to tell or an opinion piece to do, or you feel like you could do battle reports or other factual based things like that, feel free to reach out to Tridgit in game. Shoot me an email and we can talk, and I can show you how to get in with EVE News 24. We're always hiring new writers.
Yeah, I mean, just do it. I mean, if you got some sort of idea that you think is going to be cool, or if you think, oh man, I'd like to stream, I mean, and you don't know how to do it, like you said, reach out to you if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a PvP streamer, get in touch with Rahne or Panda, or I mean, anybody that you think you might want to emulate or get balanced ideas from, just do it.
Yeah, the EVE community is one of those rare ones where it seems like, even though, I was going to say, it always seems like everyone's super supportive, even though, sometimes it's beneficial if you don't support other people. But for whatever reason, EVE has always been supportive of each other. I know, like CZ, Ian, I'm not quite sure with INN, but a lot of times even the news sites will be supportive of each other. Or like, I mean, I work with Even T, and when we have tournaments coming up, I know Imperial News Network doesn't really, they run their own thing, but they'll still push out articles in relation to it and help promote events or whatnot. So that's always nice. Same with the streamers. The streamers always help promote each other's channels, help like lift each other up, help bring each other content, etc.
True that.
I mean, Buessing as like a extensive listener to all the shows, like, can you get enough?
No.
Sorry, I was typing. I do. I listen at work, and the guys at work laugh at me all the time. But I'll be sitting at work on the Firehouse computer, and I'm just listening to you guys, to Open Comms, to Space Nerds, and I really like it because it helps me stay in game when I can't play the game at work.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for podcasts and I just really podcasts in general, I really wouldn't know as much as I do know about Eve.
Well, that's what's great about the new media, which is podcasts or YouTube or quick clips on Facebook or wherever you watch it, is it's a really easy way to engage with complex topics through visual or audio means, when previously, like when I was on the bus today, I could not have read a book. As much as I might want to read a book, like my Empires of Eve that I have sitting here that I need to read more than the first chapter of.
You haven't read it?
I'm going to.
A little big
Dude.
for the bus, though.
It's okay. It's a very it's a slow read, but it's not as slow as the Internet Spaceships Are a Serious Business. That was slow. I had to like set it down because it had so many big words and ideas and concepts that were just beyond me. But the Empires of Eve, man, once you start like flipping pages and getting through it, oh, that was a good book.
It's really funny. You showed me your hardcover copy of it, Meredudd, and since then I not only bought it, but I finished it. You haven't started it.
Okay, this is why I don't share anything with you guys.
Procrastinator. Read the book, damn it.
I read English good.
I haven't bought it yet. It's in my Amazon cart.
But that, like reading a text out of a book compared to the amount of podcasts and new media that I consume is just night and day. Like probably 10, 15 hours easily in my commute during the week, and then who knows, 6 hours on the weekend probably of podcasts.
Wait, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I listen to things, but I barely get a chance to read things.
Who doesn't? Yeah. Which, by the way, I have that copy of Internet Spaceships Are a Serious Business, and I know Buessing was looking for a copy of that. My kind sir, if you would like that copy, I'd be glad to send it your way.
That'd be great. I haven't had a chance to look at the other ones yet.
Yeah, just send me a private message later with your address, and I'll ship it out ASAP.
Are you going to send me the hard copy?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll even sign it. I'll sign it and everything.
Oh, geez. The space fame. It's gone straight to his head.
I'm not going to say all that, but the copy of the Eve source book that I got from Jay McLean that was signed by all the devs at Vegas was short one particular dev, and that would have been CCP Ghost. I think he knows that I don't like him. I think he secretly didn't sign it in spite of me.
I gotta track that guy down. I felt like he was shit-talking me.
Everyone wants to track him down, and nobody seems to be able to.
Oh.
So he's got a really fitting name then.
Yeah, he's ghosted the fuck out.
Oh, not CCP Ghost. Jay McLean.
Oh, Jay McLean. That tube.
I still talking on open comms.
I still don't know what tube means.
I don't know. I don't get half of your military lingo.
I've never heard of that before. So I don't know if it's military lingo or something he has in his own personal circle. Anyways, I think we just derailed. Let's get back on the tracks.
Yar.
I have no idea where we were going with this, and I'm sober.
I mean, I was drinking.
What were you drinking?
Vodka, Tito's and cranberry.
That's my boy.
I like how you corrected vodka to Tito's because it's the brand of Tito or the brand of vodka that matters. And Tito's is definitely the best.
Eve branded vodka.
Yeah, that is the official vodka of Eve Online. I'm surprised they haven't done some sort of partnership in marketing. Oh, but that's right. Eve doesn't really do marketing per se.
Mm-hmm.
Rip.
So actually, that's kind of another thing. Do you think that CCP relies too heavily on us as content creators for marketing and that they don't really focus on marketing themselves as well as they could.
No, I feel that is not the source of the problem. If that was the source of the problem, then it would be less of a problem because they would be more invested in giving us the tools to do so. Just like I was talking about earlier with the lack of us having the ability to make videos easily and that kind of stuff. If they just gave us simple tools like that, fuck the amount of marketing that we could do, right? And we wouldn't even do it like in a planned way. It would be like, haha, I'm gonna make this video and fuck those guys over. Like, how much more
Right.
Eve can you get, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you're saying is it's not so much how I put it. CCP could care less either way, whether we're marketing for them or whether they're not continuing to not market.
I think they just may potentially
That
not
makes sense.
know the level that they're doing it at versus where they should be. I mean, they're clearly trying because they've had all of these various different types of video marketing campaigns that they did. Like first they did the I was there video and they filmed the dude and because he was there, you remember? And then now they're doing the ones where they're community people. They're not a made up character, but you like submit your own video and then they send a crew
Yeah.
out to do the thing.
My
So they're clearly
story.
Yeah, the Eve story one. They're clearly trying. It's just, yeah.
Here, okay, so yes, I agree with that. They have been doing more stuff like that. The My Eve story stuff is awesome, but where are they putting that? They're just putting it on their own YouTube channel.
Bingo.
And the only way that you would know about Eve Online is if you search for Eve Online. And if you don't know what the fuck it is, you're not going to search for it, right?
That is precisely correct.
Just wait till my article comes out. I'm such a CCP hater.
Is it like a tough love or is it like a whiny hate?
I think it's tough love.
That's
I'm a tough love kind of guy, you know. So it looks like we have some suggestions for some topics. Somebody wants to talk about speculation of a drilling platform. Haven't we already beat that one to death?
What, you mean get rid of moon mining?
Couldn't we always drill down on it some more?
Where did I hear somebody talking about, or maybe I read about it, like using the kind of the mechanic for planetary interaction for moon mining? Where did I hear that?
Oh, PI is also terrible
PI is not terrible. What I was like essentially, so it was like using that
Terrible.
same concept, like you're placing the moon mining platform over the planet, and then you use, or not planet, but the moon, and then you zoom in on the moon to try to figure out where the best spots are to mine, like all a PI style. I think
So-
that'd be cool.
though. A shift of the possible moon mining passive income goes from the alliance level and or corporation level back into the hands of the individual then.
Yeah, like so, like someone would actually have to operate it. Someone would have to man the station, as it were.
I remember back in, I want to say 2009, there was rumors going about ring mining to replace moon mining, and the idea that, as best as I can remember, is that they would remove moon mining eventually and pauses and all that kind of shit eventually, and to get what you currently get via moon mining with the pause, the moon goo, to get this stuff, it would be an actual player going to the ring of like a planet or whatever, and whatever celestial body they have to fly to, and they would have to physically go in there and do some action, whatever it is, and then it would become an active income as opposed to a passive income. What do you think of that?
It needs to switch to an active. I mean, any of this gameplay where you can like just flip the switch, walk away for a week, come back, make dank isk is just terrible for a gameplay mechanic that is driven around, like the game is driven around either grinding stuff out in space or killing people out in space. Like having stuff locked away in unassailable wealth vaults was terrible for the game. That's why we're moving towards destructible stations, right?
Destruction all around.
I agree with that. I agree that passive income on an alliance level has fostered some pretty terrible shit within this game. That's topics going to like super cap proliferation and people doing super subsidies and shit like that because they can afford it and other people cannot. But going back to core mechanics of do the thing, get the stuff, that is where everything should be. But then you have to balance the doing the thing, is it worth it? Because right now, as an example, if you want to do, like if you're a high-sec trucker, you're a space trucker, you're going to go from point A to point B, you're going to do courier contracts, but you eventually want to break out into doing low-sec stuff with jump freighters. Well, if your margins are $1 million-isk per run, how long is it going to take to get a jump freighter? Or you can go to an alliance or corporation that will be potentially willing to sponsor you and subsidize you and do that kind of stuff so that you will be willing to do those logistical duties that nobody else wants to do. So I feel that if you completely kill it into a do the thing, get the stuff, then we will lose something on the organizational level unless CCP replaces it with something else, or at least tweaks existing mechanics to help, mitigate that.
Well, I mean, like just like we're talking about inside the chat channel right now, there's just so many things about Eve that are just a necessary evil, that are just such a pain in the ass to do. PI, moon mining, the potential next rendition of what moon mining is going to be, salvaging and space trucking. Is just like, Jesus, all the stuff that we have to do and nobody wants to do it, but damn it, we have to. So like, I don't know, I guess we need to makes better things. CCP, please make better things and better reasons for us to do all these things that we don't want to do, that suck.
Well, Dorian mentions the bottleneck, or the impending bottleneck on salvage, which is causing the rig prices for citadels and engineering complexes to skyrocket because there's not enough salvage on the market to supply the demand.
And exactly what I was talking about earlier, like nobody in my corporation wanted to salvage stuff. And the only way you make Tech 2 stuff is from salvaging stuff.
And how many people know that there are automatic salvaging drones?
Yes, there are salvaging drones, which are almost worthless. Almost. You know what I was talking about? I was actually talking with some of my corp mates last night, was that, okay, so we have our mobile tractor units. So you put on a mobile tractor unit and it tractors stuff in, but then you have to manually salvage it. So wouldn't it be awesome if we had a mobile salvaging unit as well? So you can put out the MTU, bring stuff in, drop the mobile salvaging unit, it starts breaking things up, and you just can warp away, go do another site, scoop it up later. That'd be dope.
That would be cool, right? So you guys are talking about higher SP players like trying to do that switch to start salvaging and whatnot. In my corporation, we actually push our newer players to do salvaging because we know, as an organization, we know salvage is good for us so that we can build stuff in-house. So we do a buyback program, but we also know that they, being a new player, they're not able to run a Haven or a Sanctum. They just can't get into a ship and just do it. So they'd have to do like the way lower tier anomalies, and they make no money doing it. So all they do now is get told to tail a carrier pilot, and the carrier will rip around and murder the site, and then they just warp in and salvage it, and they're making crazy money.
Yeah, one of the first things I learned how to do when going out on fleets, and when I couldn't really fly anything else, was fly behind them and pick up salvage, pick up the wrecks. I mean, that's an easy thing for an alpha player to do.
Yeah, like absolutely. A Cormorant or a Catalyst with all salvagers. Classic newbie income.
It's not even newbie income anymore. It's like actual income now.
Yeah, especially since there might be a shortage. Price will go up because there's less of it there.
I mean, a simple thing they could add would be Tech 2 salvaging drones, which they just added the Tech 2 mining drones. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch.
Yes.
Salvaging drone 5, and I think they do quite well. Cause I'll kill a site in my Gila, do an MTU, then just let them eat, and it pays off really well.
Before the fighter changes, I used to run a full set of my geckos and heavies, and I think 1 medium, and I would just leave 5 CPU left of my 12 drone setup, or 12, drone setup, and then that would be a salvaging drone. So I just would get a little bit of salvage from every site. It was great. And then they've ruined my dreams.
Oh, you have to pay attention when you rat now?
I don't want to pay attention that much.
What system do you rat in?
All of the systems.
I'm sending an impromptu invite to Orgasma Drone, who's been chatting in channel. Who I don't know. He wants to ask us some questions. So please come on in. No. You want to keep asking these ridiculous questions, but you don't want to actually come in and spout off with us. Yes, we know each other. We don't know what you're talking about. Everyone's got to be a troll sometimes. Oh, Rain wants to dip as you may. Rain, give a shout out.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you for having me. I guess shout out to Open Comms. You guys are on Open Comms, and I'll shout them out because that's kind of, I guess, my own podcast / stream thing. So we stream on Fridays. I believe it's 8 Central to 10 Central. Not quite sure what that is. Eve time. It's like early Saturday morning.
Yeah, 0200 Eve.
Yep. So take care, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Rain.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming. We should all probably walk towards the exit.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's about that time. It is hour and a half in.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah. So let's see. Starting from the top, Buessing, take it away.
My shout out is to you guys on Mind Clash, and thanks for
Oh.
having me here. It's a pleasure.
Oh.
You can't
Glad I
shout
was-
out
glad I was
us. It's our job to shout out you.
Yeah, you're the fan. Shout out to all the fans. Yeah. So real quick shout out from me. I'll do kind of your favorite thing, Meredudd. I'm as some of you might know, I am a home brewer. That's a little hobby of mine. I did a little video stream on Wednesday night of me brewing beer. I live twitched me brewing beer. I had 2 cameras going, one kind of facing me in the stove. I had one facing down into the pot that was brewing. So that was interesting. I may do that again, but I'm starting to listen to brewing podcasts. The one I'm just starting right now is Dr. Brew. So there's my podcast shout out for the week. It's Dr. Brew.
That's super interesting. I actually, if you want to link that in Discord, that I want to see
Okay.
that.
Yeah. The video of me.
Yeah, the video you brewing. That sounds cool.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll see if I can find it.
I'm sure INN has a room for that. I mean, Pork Butt's got his barbecuing section. If you didn't figure it out by his name.
Ah, I see what you did there.
No, but legit, he's got like 2 separate barbecuing articles. My podcast that I've been listening to this week, probably worth checking out, is called Science Versus. It takes a kind of culturally known topic. The one I just listened to was attachment parenting, and then scrutinizes the facts essentially against science. And it's done in a kind of pop science kind of way, so it doesn't drill down too hard into the facts, keeps it light. Narrated by a woman from Britain, and it's quite interesting to break those commonly held assumptions that kind of dominate your Facebook feeds. You just want to fucking repost all these facts to them and just be like, you are idiots.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Someone said we should do a tailgate party stream. I dig that. Diversity. Isn't that pretty much what Clue Space Nerds is? Tailgate party show.
Pretty much. No
Anywho.
comment.
Tridgit, what you got, man?
I want to shout out to one of my special brand of people who, if you look in the chat, so this is on the entry gate to our space.
Awesome.
Look at how
Wow.
perfect the lines are. Like, seriously.
Dedication.
For those of you who can't see the image, I just linked it.
I put it over there. I linked it.
You linked it? Okay, perfect. Yeah, like this, like seriously, if you fly beside it, they're fucking straight. I have no idea how he did it.
What is that?
That's effort.
Those are mobile depots.
Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome.
Right? So that's the entry gate to our constellation. So you warp into that. It's amazing. The guy's name is Hobos. He's a fucking baller, and clearly he has time.
What system's that in? I want to reinforce the I, the A, and the R, and then the A. So it'll just be Ron Mad.
Oh, actually, that's funny. Some of our locals most recently actually reinforced enough of them to spell UMAD. So we chased them away and then reinforced them all. So that didn't work, but it was a nice red highlight.
Who's it? Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention. Interesting fun facts. I found out my alliance is being ran by a 19-year-old kid. That's interesting. But we're also having an alliance get together the first weekend in February. That'd be the 3rd and 4th, I believe. Or yeah, 3rd and 4th. So for those of you who are in Legio de Mortem, please get into it and do this little Eve meet. Also, I might be doing the second annual Fort Hood meetup, like I did last year, about February, March timeframe. I think it was around March. So look forward to that. I'll put details out in the what is it called? The evemeet.com. I'll put that out there and I'll link it wherever I can. So we're gonna do a second annual Fort Hood meetup at the Bit Bar.
I forgot that you were in Legio de Mort. I actually know the Alliance executor. That guy's a nice guy.
Yes, he's very nice, and he's 19.
Yeah, no, I know. I known him for a bit, actually.
Yeah, like when I was talking to him yesterday, I was like, "Did you seriously just say you're 19? That's painful. I could be his father."
Oh.
As young as I look, I know.
I mean, we have our Vancouver meetup tomorrow in Vancouver. If you're in West Coast Canada or Seattle, you could probably drive up. We meet in New Westminster at 7 p.m. You can come hang out with us. There's a good 14 of us, typically. Lows of 8, highs of 20. And we have a couple CCP folks around if you want to be really spurgy towards them. They can't solve your problems. I'm sorry.
They can shake their head and look at you condescendingly, though, and it's fantastic.
They're great at that.
All right, cool. So, yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you don't know all the places to find us, you got me and Meredudd on Twitter. So Meredudd is at Meredudd_Eve, and I'm at Kael Decadence. And I'm pretty sure everyone else that's been in this show has some sort of Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter and you're playing Eve, you're weird. Also,
Tridgit.
Are you serious? Tridgit.
Fuck.
Anyways, yeah, also, if you're viewing this and you would like to listen to it later, just go on any podcast app / iTunes / TuneIn, or pretty much anything that's a podcast thing, and you can just search for Mindclash Live. Also, mindclash.live is our website where you can find links to the recordings, links to the videos, and everything else.
If you want to come chat with us, you want to tell us that we're idiots, or come volunteer to be a guest on the show, please join us on our Discord. You can find the invite at the bottom of the show.
Bottom of the screen. You see it right there. Go check it out. Scroll down just a little bit. Join us on our Discord. Okay. And thank you for watching, listening, and spurging.
Thanks for having me. See ya.
Yep. See you next week.